Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to set up my reading journal. The supplies I used are a 5 micron, 3 ballpoint pens, 2 of them died throughout the process, 2 mild liners, a marking pen, 2 zebra click art pens, and erasers, a kneadable eraser, and your average plastic eraser that has been defaced in my middle school era. Plus this handy dandy eraser shavings vacuum that my mom got me for Christmas. It's amazing. And of course, you can't forget my little garden eel friend that I don't think you've actually met before. I'm using a dot grid notebook, and we're opening up to the first couple page spreads. We pass by the table of contents to the days started and days finished page. I will begin by erasing what I can of the pencil lines so they don't get stuck in the markers. I tried using a ruler first with the Micron, but every time I pressed the pen against the ruler, it stopped the pen ink from flowing. So I just decided to go by hands to begin with and learned that I don't know how to draw straight lines very well. I'm making a grid of a year so that I will color in each block that I start a book. But I don't continue to use the ruler in the rest of it. The other side of the page spread will be days I finished, so I will color each block of the year that I finished the book. Again, I'm freehanding the lines because the ruler trick didn't work. I decided to use the marking pens to show lines to give the impression of the marker lines without actually having to draw because it was a lot easier to use these. The color scheme I'm going with is gray and blue and pink, which is a stand-in for red because red was too bold. Those are the 3 colors that I tend to use in those things. And now I'm erasing the titles that I wrote in pencil, and I'm marking them in with the pens, rotating between the different kinds of pens to make it more interesting to look at. And now to vacuum up the eraser shavings, I move on to the next page spread, which is 25 and 25 and the alphabet challenge. I begin by drawing out the grid for where each of the books would go for the 25 books that I plan to read in the year 2025. Erasing the pencil and marking it in with the pens. And moving on to adding some details, I thought it would be fun to add these lines to make the page a little more interesting. Doing the math to figure out how to skip which boxes so that I could rotate between the colors was a lot harder than I expected it to be. On to the next page with the alphabet spread. I begin by drawing the lines for each of the titles will go. And then I do the same color changing pattern for where each of the letters will be placed. And then I vacuum up the shavings again before moving on to the next page spread. Here we have the page spread of how many days I read in the year. Same idea as the days started and days ended. I will just color in for each day of the year that I read a book. And I will be using the same color rotating pattern to show the lines instead of drawing the lines with the micron. It just looks steadier that way. The next page spread will be my book bingo page spread. I haven't actually participated in a book bingo before, so I was really excited to come up with this. It took me a lot longer to come up with what themes I was going to use. And here I'm doing the same alternating color pattern, but this time I will be alternating the lines as well so that it turns out more like a picnic basket than just horizontal lines. Each of the different prompts for the book bingo squares start with spring, one word title, fantasy, read a debut, read in bed, name in title, summer, red cover, read a 2002 release, that was the year I was born, male written by female, female written by male, historical fiction, then we have our free space, which will be called just read, blue cover, read a banned book, read a classic, contemporary, read a 2025 release, fall, judge book by cover, animal in title, read a recommended book, read a 2024 release, finish a series, and winter. It was really fun coming up with the different prompts I was going to use for the book bingo. And here we vacuum up the eraser savings and move on to the next page spread, which is my bookshelf of books coming out in 2025. I have it separated out in 24 different shelves next to each other on the page. I will be using the gray as the base shelf color for all of the other page spreads that I also have shelves in. I will be writing the months on each of the shelves, rotating between the blue and the pink color. The left side of the column will be for books coming out, and the right side of the column will be for manga volumes coming out. Erasing the title from pencil and penning it in. Next page spread, we have the books read page spread and the mangas read page spread. I will do the same kind of shelves next to each other, 12 per page. Only this time it will be January through December on both pages instead of splitting the year across the two page spreads. I was experimenting with different ways of drawing the shelves and came up with the conclusion that there is no easy way to draw these shelves. After vacuuming up the erasure savings, I will once again go in with penning in the title and using the gray marker to color in the shelves. and then adding the months to each of the shelves. Here I messed up a little bit because I wrote October instead of November, but I just switched one of the other shelves in the other column. Moving on to the next page spread, we have the book series I'm in the middle of reading. I will be drawing long shelves rather than separate ones because I anticipate to be filling them a lot more than the other ones, which leads to a lot more unsteady lines. But with practice comes better lines, hopefully. After vacuuming up the eraser shavings, I fill in the shelves with the gray marker and pen in the titles. Moving on to the next page spread, we have the rereads page spread and the DNF book pile. On the rereads page, I will have 12 shelves, each one marked with the month to keep track of what months I reread what books. After vacuuming up the eraser shavings, I fill in the title and then I fill in the shelves. For the DNF book stack, I tried to experiment a bit with how to show that the stacks were made up of books lining side by side rather than shelves. But figuring out how to draw the lines was a bit difficult, so the first couple look a bit strange before I finally decided on a design I liked. However, drawing in pen means that it is permanent, and therefore I couldn't go and really fix the strange circles. So erasing the pencil lines, vacuuming up the eraser shavings, writing in the title, and the page spread is done. Moving on to the next one, we have my library page spread. Here I will be keeping track of the books that I check out through the years. I am definitely the library's best friend and check out more books than I probably should, saying I have 33 staring at me on my shelf right now, and I have no idea which one I'm going to read first yet. Erasing the pencil lines, I will vacuum up the eraser shavings and then fill in the shelves. Or write the title first. That works too. Moving on to the next page spread, I use a handy dandy magic of filming. If only that's how it happened in real life. Next we have the Kindle Unlimited page spread. My sister and I have decided that we are going to give Kindle Unlimited a try this year, and I thought it would be fun to keep track of the books that I read. So I did a similar page spread to the library, only I only gave it 2 pages instead of 4. I will fill in the shelves, and then erase the pencil lines, vacuum up the pencil shavings, fill in the shelves with the gray pen, and then write in the titles. And speaking of Kindles, an unboxing video! I thought it would be very interesting to unbox a Christmas present I got this year. I received the newest version of the Kindle Paperwhite to replace my 7-year-old, well-loved Kindle. That case is missing the magnet, and I have to hold it shut with a hair pretty. It also has a dead spot that looks suspiciously like a bug and freaks me out every time I sit down to read. You would think I would learn that by now. Opening up this package was so exciting. I haven't had a backlit Kindle yet. The model I used to have was not backlit. It was before that was a thing. The very idea that I can read outside in the dark is very exciting. And here we have a quote, "Books may well be the only true magic" by Alice Hoffman. Unwrapping the covering off of the Kindle was more difficult than I expected, not being able to flip it around. And here we have the beautiful Kindle Paperwhite. Powering on her. Has a little juice. Setting that down to let it start setting up. And we will unbox its case. A lot more wrappings on this case than I anticipated. It's your standard clear protective case, and I'm hoping to put some stickers on the back of the Kindle so that it'll be visible. Maybe designing some stickers will be videos to look forward to in the future. I've already started reading on the Kindle, and I must say the experience is wonderful. The larger screen is very nice, and the picture is a lot clearer than it used to be. Alright, back to the reading journal setups. The next page spreads will be new books that I obtained throughout the year and my library page spread. While I did not fill out the library page spread in this video, I did fill it up after I recorded this, and I own 96 books. I will be drawing the 12 separate shelves, writing the months on each shelf to show when I buy what books. I decided to write out the full month instead of the abbreviations because there was so much blank space. For the My Library page spread, I drew the long shelves instead of the separate ones since I'm just writing the entire collection. This page spread completed. Moving on to the next one, we have the cover page for January. Here I draw a shelf that I will be putting each book spine that I read in the month of January onto as a sort of highlight for the month. Turning the page, we open up to where I will set up the first few review spots. The review page is a bit kind of crazy looking, to be honest. I have a square set aside for where I will put the cover of the book, and just below it will be a star rating of 1 to 5. Then I will have listed the title, the author, the date I started the book, the date I finished the book, and in what format it was, whether it was an ebook or an audiobook or a physical book. Maybe I'll even differentiate between hardback and paperback, since I'm not entirely sure which ones I tend to read more, and that might be some interesting data to collect. Alright, moving on to the table of contents, I will just mark out these 4 large columns and do a similar differentiation of the lines with the gray marker. And alternating between the pink and the blue lines will be where I put the actual page numbers. This page took a lot of patience. I have not had to draw this many lines in one set in a while. Then I'm just filling in the table of contents. And there we go. To have a final page spread tour, opening up the journal, you will first come across the table of contents page, where I have drawn out the columns and listed each of the page numbers beside the titles of the pages so that I can easily navigate to where I want to be going to at any given time. Moving on to the next page, we will come across the 25 in 25 and the Read the Alphabet page. I drew the first set in the wrong order because I didn't flip the book to the right spot, so yeah. But in the 25 and 25, I will just write down the titles or put pictures of them, and then read the alphabet I will fill in with each of the titles. The next page spread set will be days I started a book and days I finished a book, and I will just be marking each of the days that I started and finished a book. Pretty self-explanatory. Next page spreads will be I mark every day that I read, and then I will fill in the book bingo, which I'm excited for because I've not participated in a book bingo before. The next set of pages you will come across is 2025 releases. Here I will be writing on each of the shelves the books that come out in each of the months that are either books or manga. I'm an avid manga reader along with novels and am likely to pick up either at any given time. Then I will have the page spread of books I read and manga I read, and I will write on each of the months what books or manga I read in each of the months. On to the next page spread, we have book series I read, where I will be marking the books in each series that I read. The next page spread is the books reread and the DNF pile. On the books reread, I will put in each month's shelf the book I reread that month, and in the DNF pile, I will fill in the titles as I don't finish books. DNFing a book is not something to be ashamed of, and one should do that whenever they feel the need to. Next, we have the library books checked out page spreads, where I will be marking each of the books that I check out and then filling them in if I actually read them. I have a tendency to not read most of the books that I actually check out from the library, so I'm hoping to amend that and read more of the books that I actually check out. I think that would be a lot of fun and a lot nicer on my wallet when it comes to collecting books. Then we have the Kindle Unlimited page spread, where I'm hoping to write down all the books that I read from Kindle Unlimited, as long as I can find a lot more reads than I have, because currently I don't have that many. So if you happen to know of any Kindle Unlimited books, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Then I have the new books page spread along with the My Library page spread, where I will write the books that I buy on each of the month's shelves, and I will be keeping a catalog of all of the books that I currently own. Then we have the January book cover page, where I will be writing the book titles on the shelf to be an overview of the month from one page. And then we open up to the first page of book reviews to be a kind of example of what I will be doing to review each of the books that I read. And that is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed watching me design my reading journal, and I will have the tools and supplies that I use linked down below if you're interested in seeing. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps. Bye.